Good morning, I'm Ferdi Salvador. Welcome to Industry Beacon, where we shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, and the leaders shaping our future. And in each episode, we explore how they're staying ahead in their fields, one industry at a time. This morning, we take a look at efforts aimed at bridging the financial inclusion gap here in the Philippines with one of the top leading apps in the country. Since its launch, JuanHand has granted loans to individuals who are not usually catered by traditional financial institutions. Through accessible and convenient financial assistance, JuanHand empowers Filipinos by lending a helping hand to those in need. And joining us now is Coco Mauricio, President and CEO of JuanHand. Coco, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think this is a very important topic in our country right now. So, give us the background of Coco Mauricio before going into the financial industry. Where did you come from?
Well, first of all, good morning, Ferdi. Nice seeing you again.
Nice to see you.
So very quickly, about my background. FMCG background the whole time during the pandemic, transitioned into fintech.
Okay.
Right? Started my own and eventually joined forces with Finvolution, who's actually the owners of WeFund, who owns JuanHand.
Wow, that's a lot of transitions. And you know what? You're looking younger as ever, and wow, it means to say that business is good.
No, hey, we probably have the same gray hair, no? Just like keeping it a bit, hiding
That's
it.
genetic. Tell me, Coco, what's JuanHand's business model?
In one statement, it's basically serving the underserved yet creditworthy.
Okay.
And it's all about financial inclusion. So that's the space we operate in. And in my words, it's a wild, wild west of financial services.
Okay.
So we cater to those who actually no one practically caters to.
Such as?
Right? So these are usually the ones who are what we call invisibles, or the ones who can't provide documentation to go to the bank. So usually basically the unbanked. Yeah.
How I don't know if you have the data at the top of your head. How many Filipino citizens are actually unbanked?
Okay, so with the BSP data, right? So they're saying right now, I think the latest is about 60 to 70% are banked. So about 30 to 40% are banked. But if you really look and drill into this a bit further, that 60 to 70% that's banked, those are a lot of them are usually just banked because employers, for example, place their salary in an ATM.
Yes.
But the only banking transaction they do is withdraw from that ATM. So they're kind of like semi-unbanked, right? So I would say in real terms, the majority of the Filipinos are unbanked, maybe about 60%. You switch that ratio.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And there's a lot of growth potential there economically.
That's right.
Because, of course, first world countries, I'm sure they've got a tiny percentage of those are invisibles, as you mentioned. What sets you apart as a financial app? That's what I'm going to call it.
Okay, yeah, it is a financial app. Strictly speaking, from a government terms, we're called an OLP.
Okay.
Or an OLA, OLP, online lending platform, or an online lending application. So it's a special license. We're governed by the SEC.
Yes.
That's given to lending or financing companies, and to allow you to offer your services via your phone or via an app. And so that's how we operate. That's how we offer our financial services. Yeah.
And what kind of loans do you normally give out? Is there different categories or?
Yeah, I actually would like to call it nano loans.
Nano,
right?
okay,
So,
explain nano loans to me.
So nano loans, the ticket size or the amount usually for a new borrower is about 2,000 pesos.
Okay.
And depending on your credit history and profile, it goes all the way up to 50,000 pesos. And then we usually don't ask any sort of documentation except one valid ID.
Yes.
So you just download the app, fill in the fields, upload one valid ID, well, some sort of OCR or optical character recognition, where you take a picture or image or video of your face on your phone, and basically that's it. So if you're a new borrower, from downloading the app all the way to getting your money in your designated e-wallet or bank, it takes no longer than 5 minutes. And if you're a repeat borrower, it takes no longer than 45 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, usually the the payment terms are 30 days to 120 days.
Well, well, number one, 2,000 pesos all the way to 50,000 pesos. That's a wide range.
Yeah.
If you're talking about thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that you're giving out loans to,
Yeah.
right? And how long has the company JuanHand been operating?
So formally about July 2019. So we celebrated our 5th year anniversary this year.
Well, from 5 years, what was your loan outs on the first year compared to now?
Okay, I can give a range,
Yes.
right? So initially on the first year of operations, we were below 100 in terms of loan disbursements. We're about below 100 million pesos. Now we've disbursed more than 30 billion.
30 billion
pesos a year.
pesos. Okay.
Yeah, maybe much more actually. Yeah.
That one, if I were in your shoes, I would not be able to sleep well at night because that's a lot of responsibility. Because obviously, the invisibles or unbanked individuals are, it's a high risk.
Yeah.
That's a high risk for 30 billion.
So yeah, now it's actually more than, with the latest figures, about over 60 billion. Yeah.
I will definitely not be able to sleep, Coco. But obviously, what's driving the growth spurt here?
Well, Ferdi said there's really a lot of underserved and unbanked,
Yes.
right? And so right now, when they need financial assistance, it goes through various informal lending channels like 5-6 or
Yes.
medyo palawagan or borrowing from friends and family. So it's really a huge market out there from the informal sector. So we're right now just making it a bit more convenient, faster,
Yes.
more professional in terms that, hey, come on, if someone actually borrows from 5-6 and you don't pay,
They're hunting you every
repercussions-
day.
Yeah. You get embarrassed. They shame you. So these are the things that we don't want to happen to the Filipinos.
Yes, in fact, even on online social media platforms.
Oh, yeah.
They
That's
they actually point you out, call you out by name, and
Yes.
tell them, hey, you haven't paid X amount for I don't know how long. I mean, that's to me.
That's actually sad, right? It's sad because I think everyone deserves financial assistance and to be given in a polite, professional manner, right? So we believe in JuanHand that lending is a force for good.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, when someone needs financial assistance, eventually, as they mature, it becomes there's financial freedom, financial empowerment, and ultimately uplifting their lives, right? So, and that's what we believe in, and I think that's what Filipinos deserve. So there's a lot of market out there. If you ask different institutions, they can tell you the market size of the underserved in varying degrees. Conservatively, some would estimate it as a 300 billion peso
Wow.
industry, and that's extremely conservative. Others, depends on who you ask, it can go to about 800 to 900 billion. So there's really a lot, and that's loan book size, right? So there's really a lot of opportunity out there to serve the underserved.
Yeah. So for somebody, okay, for example, I'm gonna ask for a loan from you, right? Do you look at what their loan purpose is? Is it for business? Is it for a personal expense? Do you ask them or?
Oh, great. So actually, in one of the fields, right, in the app, we get to ask you what is the purpose, what are you using the loan for? So top 3 answers is number 1, usually for utilities, Ferdi, right? So to pay for electricity, to pay for water, internet.
Yes.
The second one is actually for emergency, right?
Medical.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
You spotted. So whether for themselves or their families, right? And the third one is other family needs like tuition
Yes.
for the kids, kasi back to school now or something, or Christmas, right? So those are usually the top 3 things where our type of loan is being used for.
I love this because you said you're doing a greater good for our Filipino citizens. I guess now they can rest easy that they don't have to give you a promissory note and and stuff like that. But what is your, based on your data, what's the age bracket that normally asks for these financial assistance from
Yeah,
JuanHand?
so usually screen out, of course, through regulatory compliance, we screen out, of course, below 18 and non-Filipino. So
Yes.
this is really for the Filipino underserved. And so our target is, in terms of demographics, is class C, broad C, right? And so usually these are, well, 50-50 split, male and female, between 20 to 45 years old. 60% of them employed. Yeah, so some white collar, some blue collar workers. Right now, JuanHand's profile is over 60% of our borrowers are within Metro Manila and Greater Manila area. And yeah, so the rest is in North and South Luzon and Vismin, right? So that's why we believe that we're still underpenetrated, because this shouldn't be the split. Yeah, it should be
And
about
how do you
50-50.
put your word out there?
We were very heavy on digital advertising from all the top social media channels to digital customer acquisition efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I find this topic amazing because, you know, bridging financial freedom with the invisibles and where their business potential can rise to is helped out by JuanHand.
Right.
What's the percentage of people asking for loans to finance their businesses? Like sari-sari stores.
Right.
That.
Oh, that's, okay, again, that's a fantastic point that you make, right? So we really still have to filter out, right, in terms of the exact percentage. But a lot of our borrowers, and so far in terms of figures, we have over 60 million downloads, 15 million registrations. At any given time, Ferdi JuanHand has over 2 million customers.
That's massive.
Yeah, we're right now the leading pure fintech cash lender in the Philippines. And so when you look at this profile, so a lot of them are really, the employed, and a lot of who we serve are actually, the good profile of our borrowers are actually women.
Okay.
Women between 25 to 45 years old, married, with
Homemakers.
kids. Yes, because what we found out is that they're either sari-sari store owners, online sellers, and use the money for their families.
Is this because they are the, I don't want to use the term shock absorbers for the family's financial burden, because it is sometimes, you know, the mother of the household that, okay, let me take this on and let me find a way to ease our family financial burden, right? So that's an interesting topic to talk about, because these women are always, okay, what am I spending on the food, the utilities, as you mentioned, a child needs medical care, a child needs education. So it filters down to that particular individual. And I'm not surprised that women actually make up a high percentage of your customer profile.
Of good customer profile.
Good customer
profile. It's great actually lending out to women. It actually gets to, it serves good use, right? Especially the profile I gave. And so and to your question in terms of, are we hitting sari-sari store owners to develop nano or micropreneurs out there? We are, right? So I would think, on a rough survey that we had, about 20% actually of our borrowers are either sari-sari store owners or online sellers on any of the top 3 e-commerce platforms. Wow. So in a way, we're powering entrepreneurship.
Nice. You're the patron saint of sari-sari stores, but we're going to take a quick break. Industry Beacon will be right back.
Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb.
The questions.
Talked about these packages. What exactly are they called?
They are actually benefits. We have improved or expanded is our case rate packages.
The issues.
Zero subsidy for PhilHealth.
The reserve is money that is required by law to have 2 years of operations of PhilHealth.
We clarify matters.
ACAP is ayuda, is to caution the individual from the effects of rising inflation.
Pinky Webb is always on point.
This is The Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas. Welcome dito sa BNC Studios. How are you feeling?
Join him together with different sports personalities and have a healthy sports conversation that will help you to know them even better.
In the Philippines, everybody loves community.
We can say that you got hooked. The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here on the Billionaire News Channel. Good morning, everyone!
Hello, I'm Paulo Del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
I'm Ann Assis-Canilo. Make this day an unforgettable one by choosing joy and spreading kindness wherever you go.
And I'm Monique Tuzon, and your mornings are more fun with us. Join us in the next hour for stories and conversations that matter. Only here on
It's a Beautiful Day!
Welcome back to Industry Beacon. We're still joined by Coco Mauricio, President and CEO of JuanHand. We were talking about earlier, your good borrowers and stuff like that. But on the other hand, you get, even on your own mobile phone, you get warnings about scammers. Don't share your OTP with just anyone. How do you prevent these concerns when dealing with JuanHand or your customers' fears of getting scammed?
Yeah, so that's a relevant question nowadays, especially in the holiday season when there's a lot of online shopping, there's a lot of usage of online lending platforms. So first of all, we educate, right, through our various also digital channels on how to avoid being scammed. Like, don't click on links that come from questionable sources. Don't give out your OTP to others. Remember, when you're trying to borrow from a company, check, it's actually widely available, for example, on the SEC website, who are the registered and licensed lending companies and online lending platforms. Call their customer service. Do they have a physically verifiable office, right? Do they have live customer service agents based in the Philippines? So there's like really various ways for people to determine if the ones, especially lending companies specifically, if the lending companies they're dealing with are legit, so that they don't get scammed. But a step back to that, generally to avoid being scammed, just don't click on anything that's actually not questionable. If you get, claim this prize, click this link, so things like that. Don't give out OTP to others. The ones who are a bit more careful